Okay, hi everyone. So, like I said, Jani Akkila from Genius local company here from Joensuu. What we do is user interface solutions for digitalization, and many of our projects are related to forest industry. Today I just tell a couple of business cases actually. One for the machines for the industry and one for the photonics, related to the photonics research. Company itself is about roughly, we are 20 people in Joensuu working together with the bigger corporations, and our uniqueness is that half of us are IT people and half of us are industry people. So in a way it's easier to work with the industries when you have a substance know-how. This one I'm proud, so I tell you there's a lot of competitions we have managed to do well, but last year in the US, Boston, we won a Best IoT Solution of 2016 prize from the company called PTC. The big picture, or the thing that we are trying to solve with our virtual reality, augmented reality, and similar solutions is that now when you are getting more and more systems available, more and more interfaces, more and more data analysis and everything, it gets confusing for the common people and engineers and people at the sites who are running and doing the operations and are in charge of the businesses. So, for example, in the typical pulp mill, Imatra Integrate is our customer, Stora Enso. Typical normal, just as an engineer in the operations, use 7 to 9 user interfaces per week. So what we do, we combine those interfaces or the data of the interfaces with the help of the platforms like GE, Predix, and Elisa, IoT, and others, and analytics. We combine the data to the one place with the help of these bigger platforms and act as an application in the front of the people in charge. And the result is that the people on the site, on the plant, on the forest, on the machine, they have the actual virtual reality model of their plant or machine or the surroundings with the data combined from the various systems and places. And the data itself is, it's not everything put on the face of the user. You actually, if you are working as a manager, you get the data of the manager collected from the various systems to the virtual model. If you are sales guy, you have the machine there, you have the data of the machine, you can build it in the virtual reality with the real life physical values. Wind turbine manufacturing plant, you can follow up what is happening there. Manager sees the euros, assembly guy or service guy sees the tasks and the manuals. And same applies here. So recreating the actual business environment in virtual reality and connecting data to it from the various places and sources, along with the documentation. The first case, the business case actually, is that this is a pump. It's a pump used to pump, for example, paste in the beginning of the paper machine, or in biorefinery it's used to pump the masses or the sludges in the beginning days of the process, and then the wastewaters in the end of the process. So so far it has been that, of course, these guys have been selling only the pumps and valves for the industry, and the price is something, delivery time is something, and then you got the pump. What if we could change it a little bit with the new technologies? Let's start with this is an actual picture from the user interface. So you have all the assemblies globally for the certain smart products. So if you add sensors and stuff to the product, you can start to call it smart because you can have the data there and you can control it through the internet. Okay, you have the map here, you have the data from the assemblies, euros. You can dive into the actual plants and process and see them as they are in the real life. And it's used then to monitor, maintain, and to perform predictive analysis. So you can know ahead in the visual interface that if something is going wrong. And it's of course it's a tool for the company who manufactures and sells the pumps, but it's also a better data and better visibility and understanding for the customer who is buying the pump and using the pump. Okay, from the plant side, you can go all the way down to the small processes. You can click any device in the virtual environment, get the data and information from that, all the way down to the single devices. And this is actual screencast. It's coming from Chile at that point. And remotely you have all the information and the estimated time for the next host change. So what it means in the practice, with the help of the VR user interfaces, AR and mixed reality, we can actually, these are now working in the HTML5 environment, so as a 3D models in the laptop or PC or the tablet. But these kind of services and industrial internet and the virtual reality connected, actually this company is now starting to sell pumped tons, saved water, pumped slots, pumped mass, whatever, with the monthly payment instead of selling the pump. So actually not selling the iron and steel and motor, selling a service with the monthly or annual fee that includes the machines to pump the materials, service 24/7, interface to maintain and monitor it remotely, and see from the customer side to see what is going on and what the supplier is doing to help them pump more or pump more with less money and cost. So truly new kind of visibility. Okay, second, by the way, that one is the virtual reality demo here. We are next break, we are still there, and you can see it in the adaptation of this Florox user interface in the virtual reality as a kind of an exhibition game. Second case I'm telling you is like the UF says, diving into the fourth reality of the science. So this is the new concept we are building for the University of Eastern Finland, or building together with them. So they are having building this new photonics laboratory for the research of the photonics, of course, and the lenses. And I don't know much about the photonics, but whatever you guys study, they will do it there. The concept is called Smart Lab. Okay, these are actual pictures again from the user interface. So what we are doing now, when they are constructing the real physical laboratory in the Joensuu, we are building a real 3D virtual reality model of the same lab that they are physically constructing, with the exactly same devices, same machines, same sizes, parameters, tables and lasers. And the result is that it's connected via LabVIEW to our interface. And now in the past life, if somebody from Japan wanted to study a new lens or something, they had to ship a couple of guys and or they have to send people to the lab. But with the help of this, it will be launched for the commercial use in December this year. They can just send the lens to Joensuu, and via their own computer, wherever they are globally, they can actually, when they move the devices in the screen, or change the parameters, or change the mirror placing, it actually moves in the real life in the laboratory in Joensuu. So through virtual reality, you are actually controlling real physical laboratory by changing place of the objects and devices in the virtual reality. So, like I said, it's connected. The 3D user interface you see here is connected to the. It is missing all the buttons and the things, but anyhow, it's connected through internet to the LabVIEW and the local computer in the lab that actually utilizes the movement of the machines and devices with the servo motors. Also, the lighting of the lab is controlled through the interface, and the humidity, temperature, and other physical varieties are monitored. So the researchers who are remotely using the lab actually can have all the same data that they would have by physically being by themselves in the laboratory. Okay, so how it's a business case? It's a pretty different case now when the laboratory is physically in one place then starting from December, the laboratory is actually available globally. Of course, you still have the SIFs and you can rent it and book it, but the utilization in the laboratory can be raised in the totally new level. It's also a platform to demonstrate photonic phenomena, photonics for the other schools, companies, universities. You can drive it. You can do the lab stuff in the lab, and somebody can see from the virtual reality user interface in Germany that what is happening and what are the results. This is not limited to photonics only. It's exactly it's a common technology. There's nothing new, groundbreaking in technology-wise. So it can be utilized to any kind of the laboratory or remote control applications. And it's a scalable solution. And let's see. We don't know yet in the process Genius, and I think that the university still don't know all the possibilities that creates. When we take it to the use and start to use, you get the feedback. There might come a lot of new things that it can help with. Generally talking about the virtual reality user interfaces, if you think about those, they are really fluent. If the user interface looks the same and feels the same than your actual business or machine or production, it's naturally easy to use. You don't have to remember what kind of puzzle there, what was my passport, where is that information, what I have to write in the search field. It's really intuitive to use. And the technology we use, it's HTML5, so it can be used with any device, any newest device. And it lasts time. When you have the user interface for lab, for example, done like that way, basically the user interface doesn't get old as the way the normal interfaces get old. It's valid as long as the laboratory physically looks the same. And of course, the new devices, we can add those. Maybe when the computer powering gets better, the outlook will be better rendering and so on. Some other customers we are doing, so mostly Finnish, but the globally working corporations, similar stuff for these guys. These are under construction. But I like this photonics case, it's quite state of the art. A lot of money can be saved with this kind of solution. These are real life cases. One of our customers saved a one-time investment of 97,000 euros because they could see all the data in the one place and everybody could understood it. It's from tens of euros to hundreds of euros per month per user, depending on the case, but always the savings or increased productivity can be calculated to numbers, and in many cases the numbers are quite big. So we believe together at our company and corporations that the information is worthless without, or unless it's distributed properly and understandable and shared. Thank you.
Thank you, Jani. That was very visual, to say the least. Very nice indeed. Any questions? Over there.
About the first thing, I must say that at least the second one was quite impressive and really looking forward to see how the laboratory launches. I mean, then you'll see how much users it has and how it actually works. Yeah, actually, one question about that. You have tested already the remote control?
Yeah.
And it works?
Yeah.
Okay. About the first one, what is the added value of the virtual reality model for that? I mean, I understand that most of that things could be just in a normal, like those pictures that you showed here, that you could have the data there and you see the machines and the process and the layout of the facility, and you can click different places. So the VR, what's the added value?
Yeah, the VR itself, maybe not, like I said, it's kind of it's 3D models in the 2D screen. The user interface actually is. For the showcases, it's great for the VR. But the added value there is okay. It's future, but anyhow, big part of the added value comes from the sales side. These companies in the hardware business and industrial business, everybody wants to be the forerunner. Everybody wants to say that we are the best, we are the most oriented technology, we have the best technology. And if you build something like that, you can actually show to your customers that we are on the top of the technology. Combine this stuff to the actual data and analytics. But also there is a valid point in that sense that, for example, if some factory buys this kind of pump or valve assembly with 6 pumps and couple of valves first time there's a new guys maintaining it. It's much easier to get the maintain related information, documentation and everything from the exactly similar looking user interface than the real life assembly is. So that's basically and same applies to sales and all kind of troubleshooting. And why it's possible to do it in the way like we do now, the computing power has increased so dramatically fast that it's not anymore too much extra cost to make it to the virtual reality, so why not to make? Because everybody is already designing their devices and plans in 3D, so you just take those and render those, so there is not that much added cost anymore to compare to the traditional ones.
Yeah, that's a good point. So the interface that you are using, it's from the actual machine, from CAD drawings.
We use the design drawings of the machines and the factories and plants.
So it's not just look-alike, but it's exactly the same.
Yeah. And actually in industrial scale, one biorefinery power plant case we have that they have spent millions of euros to build the 3D design model when they built the new plant. In the present day, when the plant is built and the operation starts, this expensive 3D model becomes pretty much useless until next time they do some remodification. But when you upload it to our interface and connect the data, this 3D model what they have invested a lot of money for the last couple of years gets a new life as a life of the interface for the operating and maintaining plant. So there's a big benefit. So you can kind of repower the old investment you have made for the 3D design.
Yeah, nice. Any more questions?
Yeah, sounds very interesting and important. So what's the competition? So what is your unique role?
Yeah, basically
so
all
the question was about competition.
Yeah. The competition pretty much all the companies, entities with the know-how of gaming coding, graphic design and 3D design can compete. Our differentiation is that, like I said, half of our people are industrial people, so we know the substance of the customers. Customers doesn't have to explain us how the generator works or something, so we can straightly start to develop added value, what they want. And secondly, we have put a lot of effort to productize it. We are not doing this and that. We are only focusing for these industrial user interfaces, VR interfaces. And that focusation gives, of course, during the time you are edge.